Do you bet more or less now?
Less, definitely less.
Less?
Yeah,
okay.
25.
And are you making more or less now?
Make clear.
And in your years prior punting, of those years that you were punting, how many of those years would you have made 10K profit?
None. When I play blackjack, I have to go at a table where, well, now I have to make sure it's not 22 as a push, and the blackjack odds have to be 3-2. They have to be 3-2.
Did he hit on 17 and then get 22?
No, I can't remember what he did, but I remember thinking he had a soft 14, and then he got a 2, so he was on 16. I'm like, this can't go on. Gets a 6, and I'm like, yes. And he's not doing anything. Like, the dealer's not giving me my money, and I'm like, mate, you're gonna give me the chips? And he just points to the side twice, and I read it in this microscopic writing, 22's push. And I'm like, I look around to the others at the table, I'm like, is real? And they're all like looking at me like I'm so stupid. I'm like, yeah. Right. I'm like, F this, I'm gone. And just grab my shit and throw it on roulette and lost it. So that was a good 3 minutes of casino.
All right, welcome everyone. We have another guest on board today. We have Randy Marsh come down from New South Wales for the Melbourne Cup. So welcome on board, mate.
Thank you.
Obviously not your real name, but that's what we'll go with. We brought you on today. You've actually requested to come on. You wanted to sort of give your spiel on maybe, I don't know, explain why you wanted to come on the podcast, maybe a better way to go with it. So I know you've had your frustrations with trying to convince your mates that this works, but also maybe explaining where you came from. And go for it. The floor's yours.
Yeah, so I've probably come from a time where I was like, okay, like I was only fresh 18 and I was going fairly well on the punt, I thought.
Yeah.
And just slowly over the months, I was still profiting, but I was losing accounts, losing a lot of promotions.
Yeah.
And I noticed it when I didn't get any more deposit matches at the start.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to lose accounts like Midbet, Surge, Scandabet, and SwiftBet.
Yeah.
So they're all small bookies, but they're gone.
Yeah.
So every bookie counts, as I said before. But yeah, so
this is prior to joining.
Yeah, that's prior.
So
to
I remember you reached out to us, basically told us that you had your own horse racing system, and we have a lot of people that come to us saying this. And with all due respect to the people that come through, most of them don't have a system that is profitable. They just have something they think is profitable. But I think yours was actually profitable. However, we identified that you were pretty much just promo abusing.
Yeah, 100%.
Which at the start, maybe, I don't know, we probably came across as a little bit, I don't know, arrogant or confrontational in the way we tell you, bro, you're going to get your accounts banned. But you took it well, and here we are now. So I think you've been a member for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months.
Yep.
You came into my customer service channel. I was doing it at that time. And I remember sending you, I reckon, I'd say 2 hours worth of voice messages, maybe. We had back and forth, which is good. And I had to sort of convince you, keep reiterating that, like, push you to invest. You're already in the system, but then you join Platinum eventually. And I guess now you can probably see how it all fits together. And if you didn't have Platinum, it might be a little bit different.
Yeah, I was quite nervous to join Platinum because obviously it is a big sum.
Yeah.
But once you guys gave a special on it, I was like, okay, this is my time. Like I need to do it now.
Yeah.
And then once I did it, I felt pretty good and got through the content in around 2 weeks.
Yeah, nice. I remember, it was actually the end of July special we did for 8, 9, 7 or something. So good work on saving yourself $200.
Before you started like using the promos to your advantage through like the way that you were betting, were you gambling before that? Like, were you a gambler, and like, what are you kind of like, what was the vibe around the bets you were placing? Did you just randomly decide to use promos to your advantage, or were you gambling and losing and then thought, fuck this? Like, what was it?
It's hard to remember because I've actually like been on sports bets at like a quite young age. Like literally, that sounds bad, but I'd say since I was 15.
Yeah.
So I've had access to it when I was 15. So over those times, I was definitely gambling from 15 to 17 and just getting lucky. Like I'd obviously lose overall, but I wasn't losing too much, like $10 overall. And I'd say as soon as I turned 18, like the first thing I did was sign up to Neds, which was like literally 12:01. First thing I did.
To Neds?
Yeah. Which is, thinking back on it,
did you say
fucking
12:01?
ridiculous. Yeah.
Like at midnight.
Ridiculous. And
what was the thought process behind doing that?
Mate, no idea. I got no idea.
To get a bonus or what?
I didn't really understand deposit matches back then.
Yeah.
But like I knew all the horses and stuff. Like I thought I had a good idea on like obviously NRL because I'm from Sydney. That's kind of the biggest sport there.
Yeah.
I've been following NBA ever since I was a kid. So I'm like, okay, I can now make money because I know all these stuff about the sports.
Yeah.
I was fucking wrong, by the way. But yeah. So
when did you realize that you were wrong? Because the way that you're talking and the way that you think and the way that you used to act is how almost everybody that punts thinks, right? They're like, I know a bit about the NRL. I know a bit about the AFL. I know my NBA. So I'm not like all these other people that are punting because I actually know more than them. But then ultimately you end up punting and losing. So when did you realize that you were doing that?
We don't really realize it at the time. You keep on carrying on and be like, I know better. Until you make the change and look at it in a different aspect, you won't realize. And that's just from my opinion. I don't know if anybody else will feel that way, but I don't think you'll realize until you actually make a change and seriously have a look and be like, well, maybe I don't know, or maybe that $1.20 leg isn't going to hit every time. Maybe Damian Lillard might not drop 20 points every night, or Curry might have a bad night. Just those sort of things. And yeah, maybe wingers won't score every first try or any time try scorer. Like even if Mulatalo is playing the Bulldogs, he won't score.
So you just said then something that I found interesting. You said you won't realize until you make the change. So what was the change that you made to then have you now here sitting here going, what I was doing back then was fucking stupid. That's ridiculous. And everyone does that and I don't understand why they do that.
Can't quite pinpoint it to an exact moment, but I'd say at the start of this year, I kind of looked at just what I want to do differently into next year, just all different aspects of my life. And I looked at it and I said, I'm going to start tracking my bets because statements, sometimes I lose track of them. So I'm just going to start tracking them in my notes. And then I think I went by about 3 weeks into January, which I tried to swear off horse punting because nothing goes on in January. So I don't know how, but I was down like 700 in the first 3 weeks. And I was like, okay. And then I kind of just kept on going and then got a little bit lucky throughout the autumn carnival, made a few thousand, I'd say. And then once I saw you guys on TikTok, I first thought, oh, fuck, they're just another bunch of boys that are trying to sell their service. And then I saw more and more of it and I was like, yeah, it's worth a go. It's like only $100 for a month and I got the free month as well. So yeah, I got 2 months for free and I just went, not for free, for $99 and gave it a go. And yeah, I think I profited pretty quickly. Yeah. I think it was like the first 2 weekends that I actually started because I had to hold off the first 2 weeks to set up. Yeah. What part of, so you obviously joined the system, you come from a punting background, I'd say it's a very common punting background, and the way that you were punting, you're probably part of the minority of people that were like, fuck, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to at least track all of my bets so that I know where I'm at. Now, for a lot of people, when they were minus $700, if they're minus 700 through the first 3 weeks, they're probably going to change what they were doing. Did you change what you were doing? Like, did you bet more to try and get it back? Like, was that minus 700 figure an alarming figure, or was it like it was definitely alarming. Yeah. I can't really remember how much I changed it. I think it was more me just pulling back. Yeah. Like, and just, okay, maybe I should just chill on the horses. And then, yeah, I can't really remember how much I pulled back, but I definitely got lucky to make as much as I did in autumn.
Were you betting every day?
No. Just Saturdays. Yeah. But like, I could start off and say, I'm going to make it a set units, put my bets on at 10 and then duck off. And then say if my first 3 races lost, I'll go into panic mode and I'll just start adjusting units, going, all right, I'm going to put like 200 on this horse. Like, even if I had no idea what it was, I'd do it. Yeah. Yeah, right. And I just got lucky. Every time I got lucky.
How you spoke and how you thought then is how most people would punt. Yeah. They would come into a Saturday excited, or they've got a few that they like. They bet a few early. If they win, fantastic, hot streak. Everything I'm reading is perfect, and they bet more. Or they lose, like you said, you lose your first few and you're like, what the fuck? And then you bet more again. And ultimately, we both know where that ends up. From simply betting more, you end up losing. So you spoke to us just before we jumped on the podcast. You spoke about a day at the races where you backed 11 out of 13 winners. Yeah. You had 13 bets, 11 of them won, and you didn't make a profit. Can you explain how that happened and what you think about that now?
Yep. So it was Champions Day last year, and all of us boys, we went to the races for one of my mates' Mrs. birthday. And I was pretty confident going into the day because Nate Strib had come off that Everest performance where it arguably should have won if it didn't get stuffed over by the barrier. And it was at the time where I was kind of getting a little bit lucky. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do big nuts here and just go 500 on Nature Strip. And we all know what happened on Champions Day. I think it was $1.95. So it was obviously not a great
Looking to
bet
double
at
up,
all.
quick double up.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good story. I started off the day flying, like I was 3 from 3, and then I think I
And what
lost
were the size of those bets?
$25.
Yeah, okay.
30,
No, it's
25
good. It's
bucks.
just good for context so that people
Yeah.
understand how you can
Yeah.
back 11 winners out of 13 and still not make money. So
Yeah.
you're on $25 a bet. Your first 3 races, all winners. You're flying.
Yeah, and then I think I was up around maybe 300-400 going into the Nature Strip race. So a part of me was like, I'm about to have the biggest day of my life. And then it jumps, like it's gone into $1.60 at a jump. I'm sitting there confident, like really confident. And as it hits to 400, I'm like, he's not hitting the accelerator
Yeah,
here.
it looked flat.
And just the side angle view didn't really show how close he was, but I saw just a pack of very average horses coming up to meet him. And I actually, the one part that hurts the most, because most people will know Rockin' Horse actually ended up winning that race. I actually said Rockin' Horse was the danger. But, mate, that doesn't count. What you say doesn't count. It was what I bet. So I ended up losing $500. And the story gets actually worse.
Yeah.
So not long after Alligator Blood runs, because I wasn't matching bonuses back then. So I had 2 $50 bonus bets on Alligator Blood at $6. Wins, get my 500 back. So I'm back up. And then I do not know why I did this, but I was like, all right, I'm up 800. And like I won a race on it was like the one at Randwick after Nature Strip. And then I put like,
Which was a $25 bet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So everything was $25.
Yeah.
Apart from the Alligator Blood
Bonuses.
Nature
and
Strip.
Nature Strip 500.
and the last one,
Yeah.
Anamoe and the Champion Stakes.
Okay.
So I had 800 on.
800.
Yep. Why, you ask? Fuck knows. Honestly, I had no idea what I was thinking. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't anything. I was just chasing a feeling. And obviously, when Anamoe come up the turn, I was like, yeah, he's got it. Like, no, Zaki's not holding on. And then he just didn't make up any ground. And I was like, I didn't tell anyone of the boys. Like, probably still haven't. So if they do see this, this will be the first time you lot know about it. Yeah. So
How do you feel telling that story now that you know better?
absolutely fine.
So you don't,
Yeah.
how many people did you tell?
No one. The
Zero.
Anamoe part, no one.
0.
Because in the Nature Strip part, I went around bragging about it almost.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm not going to tell anyone about this.
Well,
'Cause
that's
the
like
boys
most,
nailed me.
That's
after
so
Nature Strip.
standard.
punters.
That's so standard
yeah,
though.
it's
Yeah.
like, here's my slip. I fucking hit $500 winner, $500 payout, sorry. And then it's just like, I wouldn't show you my statement though, because
No, but they
that's
wouldn't.
what happens.
And it's so funny that so that whole day you've done all these $25 bets, but you just had these feelings or this impulse, or you were chasing, like you said, you were chasing that feeling
Absolutely.
of having a massive bet on something, and then they've both lost.
Yeah.
And how'd you feel after it?
Yeah, mate, I got after Nature Strip, I got nailed. Like the boys were just going at me for, I reckon, 20 minutes, half an hour after the race.
Yeah.
Like one of them actually thought I was full depressed. Like, it was insane. But looking back on it, I think it's heaps funny. But yeah, and then Anamoe lost, so I wasn't actually as sad because no one actually like knew about it. So no one like
Yeah, it's no
could say
embarrassment.
anything.
or
Just
anything.
pretend.
no
it didn't-
embarrassment.
you just
Yeah, I
pretended it
almost
didn't
just
happen.
pretended it didn't happen. And
That's
then-
how most
done
people
that.
would be punting though.
But that's
Yeah.
how I started. I put
Yeah,
a
of
grand
course.
on
But I
St
would say
twice
like
and
that
didn't tell
day
anyone.
that you were at the track, there would have been hundreds and hundreds
Yeah.
of other blokes that would have done exactly what you did. Had
Yeah,
standard
hope
bet
so.
most races, loaded up on Nature Strip,
Then
lost, loaded
launch.
up on something else at the end of the day. Usually what happens is like, it's called get out stakes for a reason, right? If you're down
Yeah.
200 or 300, I've had mates that have been like down a grand and in the last race had a grand on a 2-to-1 pop. So like the best result is that they break even for the day. Worst
Yeah.
result is they're down $2,000.
And they don't tell anyone.
And like that's the punter's mindset, right? If I get out of this day even, fantastic.
100% of this.
Like
I've
I'm
been
safe.
there.
I've survived. I'll live to fight another day. And that's like, no, but that's how people punt.
Yeah, no,
like,
it's accurate.
Yeah.
That's how you were punting, and that's how so
100%.
many people at the track are punting. Or they might have $200 profit from the day. Well, what's $200 going to do? I'm going to have 200 on the last race. It's the bookies' money.
Even 7 months ago, I
lo-
was still doing this.
Yeah,
Like,
loses,
just
and
get
then,
lucky.
and then you don't have it again. So that's. I actually appreciate you sharing that story because I no doubt there'll be people watching that have done or felt the exact same thing you have, whether it's more or less money bet. So it's a big thing to be able to actually speak about that publicly. You haven't even told your mates, but it also, I think, helps with accountability going forward. Like you've told people that now.
Yeah.
Like if JP told me that he had $500 on a horse, I'd tell him that he's a fucking idiot. And then next time he might not do it.
Yeah.
So now your mates can
Yeah.
tell you that, well, you know now that is ridiculous behavior. But
100%.
it's good to be able to share that. Like, I appreciate you doing that. I think it's really good.
Good work. You mentioned like the moment where you started to realize. I know there wasn't a set moment, like you said, but now have you still had those urges to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what happens?
I've fallen for it a few times. I'm not gonna lie, but it's more that when I do it, I'm now not getting lucky. So I'll have a day where I'm like, all right, system's done for the day. A few races to come. We're down and just chase. And I've always gotten punished.
Yeah,
I haven't done that in a while.
How much are we talking? Not 800.
No, fuck no. Like, no, chasing is in like normal units, just on horses.
Oh, okay. So you're still chucking what's your unit size now? Like 20, 30?
Still 25.
25, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that's something I guess you can improve on. And now telling that again to us, you're probably going to think of that next time. And it's almost like an invisible like accountability. Like
it's a hard lesson to learn though, because if, you know, two idiots like me and JP tell you, man, if you do that, you're going to lose. You go, yeah, whatever, dickhead. But like you do it, then you do lose, and then you go, fuck, like can't do that again.
Yeah.
Or like, because we understand that, like, you know, you can punt for fun. Like, we're not fucking robots. We understand that there are fun elements to punting, but it's just having that self-control and that understanding that if you're going to do it for fun, or you're going to do it off script per se, like if you're not following the system, you just have to, there has to be rules. It has to be within reason. Otherwise, as you know, it's a slippery slope. Like if you're trying to chase back to even on a day, or to make 1,000 for a day, make 500, it's so easy to get swept up in all of it and forget what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah, 100%. Just want to bring up one story here. Something you said, Tom, made me remember this one. So I'd say, I think it was, I can't remember the race, so I'm not going to try. It was the one where, it was Anamoe's last Group 1 win. So it was against, I think it was against a Torius, Fangirl, and a Drew Barrier 12. And this is still when I was in the stage of I'm just lucky, and I was up a few thousand over this autumn carnival. So I had 1,000 on Anamoe. Right, and that one, shaking before it, by the way, like never doing that again. Like, don't know why I did it. But that's obviously got lucky.
What, 250?
No, it was $1.80.
$1.80.
It was something really bad.
Me.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, like, I'm on top of the world. Like, I'd won a good odds bet on Opal Ridge early that day. So I was up like, I think it was 1,300 profit that day. And towards the back, say 3 races on Melbourne and Sydney, I'd just put 100 on everything because I knew I'm up either way. Look back on that. That's 600. I did not win a single one of them, by the way.
Yeah.
600 just going down the drain. Oh, I'm still up. But look back on that. That's $600.
Did you have more fun betting $100 on those than you did betting $25? Like, do you think that it's actually more fun?
Obviously, if it wins, but like that's such a rare occurrence. Like, before the race, like I'm sure people will be able to relate to this, but it's a bad feeling. Like you just want to hurry up and get it over and done with. Like it's bad.
Yeah.
Like you're shitting yourself, and you just like.
Do you feel like that when you bet on the system?
Nah, fuck no.
Why?
Nah.
Why not?
Because I've seen results. I've done it before. Like at the start, like the first probably month, I was a bit like, oh shit, here we go.
Me
like,
a few times saying, oh, I missed some tips because you were playing soccer. Well, I'm not getting the same results. You guys are up +8. I'm only +2. And I was like, don't worry about it. You've learned the hard way.
I think the other thing though, the other reason that you don't feel sick like before a system tipping day or before races where you've bet on through the system or whatever is because you're not like over leveraging yourself. Like clearly these people that, and you used to be one of them, like you bet $1,000 because it's more than you should bet. And that's like, there's the thrill there. Like, fuck, like there's so much thrill here because if I lose this, it fucking sucks. And if it wins, I'm a hero, right? Like that's how 100%, you feel.
100%.
That's how you feel. And that's like, if you chase that, it's so dangerous because if that loses, thankfully for your sake, it didn't. But if that $1,000 loses, the next time you bet $1,000, it doesn't feel like that. It feels just a little bit less exciting because you've done it before. So then you want to bet 1,200 or 1,500 or $2,000. And that's why it ends up being such a slippery slope because these blokes bet 1,000 and then it wins, fantastic. The next time they bet 1,000, it loses. But now the $1,000 bet is just not enough. And like you said, you're chasing that feeling that you have, that, you know, that those butterflies, that sickness. It's like you can only get it from betting more and more and more. And it's not about it winning because you're talking about this feeling before the race jumps.
100%.
You're not talking about how you feel after. You're talking about before the race jumps, this feeling that you get before the horse jumps. And that's only because you've bet a silly amount of money that literally makes you go, fuck me, like I need this to win. And that's the excitement or the feeling that punters that lose like forever just keep chasing, and that's why they bet more and more and more.
It's living on the edge. It's like when you go skydiving or anything, it's like, you're fucking risking something that is going to impact your life if it loses. So like, that's what I wanted to ask you. When you're betting $1,000 on a few of those horses, how much money did you have as a
capital?
Like your whole life. Like, I know if you don't want to share that. Like,
I literally
savings.
had I won't name the exact amount.
Yeah.
But I had.
Are we talking 5K, 10K, 20K, 100K?
I'll give a range, 5 to 10.
Yeah.
So it was
so
in
you
that
put
range.
a
So you've
tenth
got
of your capital on an animal.
More, yeah. 10 to 20%.
So I'll be honest, it was more than a tenth.
Yeah.
So which means it was
There you
towards
go.
the lower
So
region
like,
of that.
imagine like someone who had 200K to their name, putting 30K on something.
Yeah.
That's
the
the
same.
equivalent. And I know it sounds like different, but it's the same ratio. And I know it doesn't matter as much. Shouldn't say it doesn't matter, but like if you've got 5K, you lose 1. Like you can reset, but if you've like a 30K is a lot more than 1, but it's still relative, and it's like that's what people.
Well, I've got
it's
people
a hard one.
that go on Ladbrokes bet ticker and send me screenshots of people putting 30, 40K on things and going, oh, look at this dickhead, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, what the fuck's wrong with that guy? They probably did the exact same thing as I did.
It's the same.
Anamoe
It's just
bet.
relative. Like it's just a ratio. Yeah.
And the
They're just
worst part
chasing that
is,
same feeling.
yeah, I actually wish I lost back to this day, because I remember thinking after, like, honestly, it was a really great day. Like, obviously, when you win that much, it was a great day. But, like, I've obviously had times where I've lost, like, that much as well. And it sucks. Like, your day is ruined.
Yeah.
Like, it's so shit. And when you win that much, other wins where you win, like, a fair bit of money don't feel the same.
Yeah.
And
correct.
you're kind of like, I want that feeling again, so I'm going to have to do this bet again, which you should never do.
Yeah.
That's
can't
why,
express that enough.
that's why if you have, so something we're massive on is like zooming out, like looking at a long-term goal. What is your long-term goal? Like if you go to the races every day and your goal is to chase that feeling or to win as much money as you can on that day, that's why everyone always loses.
Yeah.
But if you go to the races going, I'm going to go to the races every Saturday for the whole year, and my goal is to make $10,000 profit throughout all of these races, you're not going to try and make 10 grand on that one day because you've got a goal, right? At the end of the year, I want to be plus $10,000. And this is the stuff that, regardless of system subscribers on, this is what we're trying to tell or educate or just encourage recreational punters to think about. Because when you're punting, you said you were chasing that feeling. You're not even thinking about like, ooh, $800 profit. Like that's not what you're thinking about. You're chasing these feelings. So if you can identify why you're punting and what you're doing it for, and if it is to make money, then set yourself a goal, a target, and understand that you're not going to achieve it every single time you go to the races. Like if 10 grand's your profit for the year, you're not going to make it every Saturday. It's
100%.
stupid. Like, so if you can kind of dial it back, and the way that you explained how you felt, like I honestly hope lots of people like watch this and understand, fuck, I feel the exact same way as well. I've done that. That's what I'm doing now. My mates still do that. And it does ruin their day. I've gone to the races with
Ruins
mates.
their week, not their day.
But I've gone to the races with mates and we're having the best day ever. Like literally the best, so much fun. Everyone's together. And then it gets to like race 10 and there's one or two blokes that are like, you know, they're not a buzzkill, but they're flat. They've lost their energy. They're not excited anymore. And that's because they've just done their tits on the punt. And they're just like, fuck me. Like, oh, I can't even fucking buy beers now. Do you know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure 35,000 people did that last year. That nature strip lost the Everest. I swear to God, everyone left.
35.
Everyone
and the
looked
rest.
Depressed.
That's just the ones at the track.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like
Exactly that.
It happens every day. And like, that's why I asked you, was it more fun? And you said yes if it wins. But like before the race, during the whole day, your whole day is
100%.
Do you know what I mean? It's like your whole day is going to happen whether you bet 500 or not. And if that 500 loses, you're just going to ruin your whole day. And even if it wins, I just don't think that it makes your whole day that much better. Plus, you're there with fucking 50 mates. You tell them you have 500 on something, you're going to have to go buy 500 beers. You probably end up down anyway.
I'm just going to make this like super clear. Like, even though I did say that win was really great and was fun, the risk to reward, and now having lost that same amount before, like the high was way like the low was way like worse.
Yeah, if this is the level you're at before the race. If your $500,000 bet wins, you get to here. Like fucking sick.
Yeah,
but you're already here. Like you're able to go. But if you lose
right back
$1,000,
down there, right back down,
correct.
like
But that's the
ridiculously
thing.
back down.
Punters don't think about the loss. They think about what can happen when they win.
Right
That's
down.
right. That's
all the
fucking
way
right.
down.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like Yeah, it does suck, especially when you're at the races and whatever you're drinking at the races is just fucking $15 these days, especially in Randwick. I don't know if it's the same here.
No, it does. Like, it all adds up. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, I just like the way that you explain it. You explain it better than us, but like it does. You go all the way down there.
Yeah, 100%.
So you're not risking your $1,000. Well, you are, but you're also risking, like you said, fucking mentally being. You're in a fucking hole.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
ruin
had
your
mates
day.
go home, like just straight up go home after the punt, like just because they don't want to be there anymore. Like it's a great day out, and then they've missed out because they're just actually great story. I've just thought of a best story ever. I'm not going to name him, but I'm about to throw one of my mates under the bus here big time.
Right. So I'll drive the bus.
So he was at a work thing, like with all of his workmates at the races, and he was down fucking horrendous. Like he was down, I'm pretty sure, north of 2K.
Yeah, right.
Sheesh.
Like, and he was so pissed off that he didn't go out with his workmates after. And what he didn't know, if he would have went out, Zach Purton had a place in the Argyle with all of his workmates, and he would have been there. And they reckon Purto just took over the fucking Argyle and just splashed 30K while he was there, just going crazy.
So he would have drank for free.
He would have had one of the best nights of his life if he did not punt like a DJ, like myself used to be. Yeah. So, like, imagine missing out on that.
There's
like,
more negative cost than
there's
more negative cost than just losing the coin that you bet.
Oh, 100%.
I'm glad you're able to identify that.
Like, we all laugh at him now because of it, but like, if any of us were in that situation, we probably would have gone home too.
Yeah.
But that's just those little things where you're like, shit, if I don't punt like this, I'm going to get, like, you get punished when you do that stupid shit. And he got, still to this day, like, I can't believe he did that shit. And I still have been in moments where I've almost been that bad. But fucking hell. Like, Zach Purton and the Argyle's once in a lifetime thing. So.
Do you tell your mates now, I guess we're trying to stop talking about horror stories, but like, do you tell your mates now what you do betting wise? And what do they say, think, or do? Like, how does that go down, that conversation?
Well, at first, it used to be system versus in the group chat. We have a punters club. It's not actually a punters club. It's just people that talk about betting. And it gets abused. Like, it's just waffle on waffle on waffle every day. And it was a system. 20 systems is better. And then next thing you know, system to 16 like -4. So yeah, it's just a bunch of waffle. Like, all the boys know that what I do, and they're now starting to come around to it more than ever. So that's really good. And especially now that we recently hit 1,000 units, they're all aware of that. So yeah.
This sounds dumb, but like, did your mates know what units were until
absolutely.
Like, are they? I would say the average punter. How many punters, if you picked out of a crowd, would know what a unit is? Do you reckon?
They might be able to try and tell you what one is, but they definitely wouldn't be betting with one. I don't know, 30% maybe.
Yeah, okay. So your mates are already in the, say, top 30% knowing what a unit is before,
I wouldn't say
the last
they're
7
the top,
months.
like they're just
No, but they would be. Like, if you picked 100 out of the crowd, 70
no,
I reckon.
I agree.
Know.
But top of what? There'd be people that don't know what a unit is that don't bet.
No,
like the
punters.
People that, because there are people that know what units are, but are still full-blown degenerates.
Yeah, out of 100 punters, how many would know what a unit is?
So like
30.
Yeah, 30 maybe.
I reckon, yeah.
This is probably a better way to get that. So I've got two gambling group chats. One doesn't really get used, and one does a lot, which is the punters club that gets used a lot. The other one was supposed to be just a chat that people send promos to, because that's how we used to work. Just promos.
Yeah.
That turned into a chat with, I'd say, like 25, 30 people now. I'd say maybe 6 of us know what a unit is, including myself. That's just a guess.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on that. But everyone in that punters club group chat knows what a unit is, and to their credit, they have the ability to make money. Like, they if they put their heads down and do it properly, they will make money. But they just have days, like I've said myself, like where they'll just chase, now the most popular horse to chase on is Mr. Brightside. So everyone's just kind of, if they're down a few hundred, Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
And that day where he got done by Fangirl and the King Charles, I think that was a pretty expensive day for everyone. The only reason I didn't lose that day was because I was following you guys.
Yeah.
I was trying to, because I was in Thailand. So I was a little bit here, a little bit there, because I was on Ned, so I picked like 3 tips.
Yeah.
And then I put a bonus bet on my mate's horse, which won at like $20.
Yeah.
Which is just a fluke.
Yeah.
Complete fluke. So I should have lost.
Mm.
But Yeah.
No, fair enough.
So how long? Let's get into kind of the journey, I guess. How long have you been a member of
June?
the system?
Tell
and
you.
the
Say
punting
since
squad?
June.
I'll look it
So
up.
what's that? 5 months? No, 4 months.
Do you bet more or less? Do you bet more or less now?
Less, definitely less.
Less.
Yeah,
Okay.
25.
And are you making more or less now?
Make that fucking clear.
You're making a lot more.
Yes.
So you're betting less but making more.
Yeah.
Do you still? I know JP asked you before, but what are the urges like? Like, why aren't you chasing that $1,000 high? Like, why aren't you still doing that every Saturday? There's been massive races yesterday. There's massive races last weekend. There's massive races this Saturday. Why aren't you chasing that feeling that you got now?
There are moments where I think I want that back, but there are days where I've been like, okay, I'm up a grand. At the end of it, like, it's a good one. It doesn't happen often because not all the time we get up 20 units, but it has happened before. So, yeah, it's just more of trust the process type thing.
And what's your goal? Like, say if you set yourself a 12-month goal, you probably didn't have that previously when you were punting, but what is the goal? Do you have a profit figure or a set of accounts figure, or what is it?
I don't really have an end goal. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, focus on what I'm doing right, keep improving on Betfair because I do still struggle with that.
Yeah.
But I really need to kind of up that return from north of kind of 72, 73%.
And how did you take the adjustment period at the start? A lot of people, obviously, when you subscribe, you don't just jump in and start betting on horses, right? Like, there's a little bit of a transitional period through setting up, getting some more accounts, priming them. Now, you were somebody that was betting very regularly. How did you find that transition period through probably the first 2 or 3 weeks where you can't really just get stuck into the betting? How was that for you?
It wasn't too concerning because obviously I had stuff on, so I was playing soccer, which I didn't really want to, but I was playing it anyway. But yeah, so I was having bets every now and then throughout the day, just going back to my old thing, like making money here and there, but wasn't too concerned. Like, just when I get home from work, I just get a few apps, look at another few apps, all right, what has promos here, what's been on the promo list recently, and I just make sure I nail it all.
Yeah. And so you've been a member for 4.5 months, 5 months?
It's 20th of June or something.
20th
so
of June,
about
so
5 months.
Yeah,
Four-
I think
four
that's
months, was it?
exactly it.
5.
5 months.
just
And
shy
the
of
first
5.
month is basically
4.5.
setting up. You're playing soccer, weren't really doing things. So you've been probably having a fair income crack, I'd say, for 3.5 to 4 months, would you say? Like, doing it properly?
Yeah, I'd say 3.
3 months,
Yeah.
doing it properly. And what's your profit figure at the moment?
I'd say 3.8 roughly.
3.8K. So you're on average, well, the way that you're going, you're looking at making, and this is assuming nothing changes or compounds, which we know it does, you're going to make at least 10K through your first 12 months.
Yeah, I was looking to actually up my unit system within the next 3 months. So could increase.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be unreal. Like, it really would be.
And in your years prior punting, of those years that you were punting, how many of those years would you have made 10K profit?
None.
None. Yeah. Now, I actually thought you were going to fucking
He was
roll me
building
there
it
and
up.
tell me
Say
that
none.
you had a few. Yeah, so
Nah, man.
that's an interesting perspective, right? Like, you maybe not getting the butterflies that you feel because you're not risking, but you're making a shit ton of coin,
Yeah.
which is what every punter is actually trying to do when they're betting.
I think it's more, I reckon one of the reasons that gets people like, oh, I don't know if I'll join or not, is the slow process. Because obviously,
you're
as
100%
you say,
right.
a lot, people just want to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
And I was
Everyone
there as
does,
well.
man.
I was there as well, and I still am sometimes because everyone loves money. Everyone needs money.
Yeah.
But once you just look at it over that long period of time, and we have some mates now that, like, we kick out of group chats because he just won't send these statements because we know he's down. And obviously we add him back after a bit of a laugh at him, but when you look at those statements over a long period of time, you should be winning.
Yeah.
Especially with all the promos today. Everyone wants you to bet with them.
Yeah, well, Tom was sitting there yesterday and he was betting on the cup, not the actual cup, like other races, whatever.
Yeah.
We were both betting with promos. And it's just like the amount of, I don't like saying this, but like the amount of edge you can get like off insurance and bonus backs and stuff. If you're not using promos, like it's just dumb. Like you're just playing a game that you can't win. Like obviously you can win, but like we're talking
but the
about
average
like,
punter can't.
Yeah, like
you
the
can't.
pros
if you're
can
a
win,
pro,
like,
if someone
yeah,
that bets
that's
full
their
time or
pro.
bets to make profit, like,
yeah, but
and you're
fuck,
actually doing that, of course
it's
you can win.
so fucking difficult to like. It's just so rigged against you. Like even yesterday, like I was turning over a bonus on a bookie, ends up winning, and we've got like our own methods on how we turn over bonuses, whatever. It went from $13 on retail and it was on Betfair for 13, which is an elite match.
Yeah.
It went from 13s to 9s as I was placing the bet, and I'm just like, what?
Who was it?
Oh, good mate, Minty.
Yeah, Minty.
But no, like that was like an elite turnover, and they can just do that. And there's Steve was complaining yesterday, placed a bet, and then it automatically accepts like $1 less or 50 cents less, and it's like I told him like you got to change your settings or whatever. To
yeah,
auto.
but that's the default
But
setting.
like that exactly, like you're playing their game, and if you're not like using an advantage, then you're just playing shit.
Old mate Randy was playing the casinos game last night and played one hand, and then realized that it was fucking a joke. And like,
take advantage of what's there.
That was fucking, for those people that know, it was 22 here at the Crown in Melbourne. At some tables means push.
in Blackjack he's referring to.
Yeah, in Blackjack. So
when the dealer
if they
busts,
actually go bust, it's a draw and you don't win. And I was like,
free edge
what
for the bookie.
the fuck?
So they don't have that in New South Wales.
No,
do they not?
no.
Yeah,
From what I've seen,
I
I've
remember sitting
played
in
at the
the
Star
crowd.
Heaps and that's never happened.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers for Blackjack, but what's a like edge?
If you 21 is Blackjack.
Yeah, obviously.
But if
I'm
you-
talking the percentages, what would that
I
affect
don't
the
know.
edge?
Oh, massively.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
massively.
Every slight, like
Yeah.
0.001% counts. Like even
They're
if
getting
you
an
do
extra,
count cards,
like they're
But
getting
is
an
it-
extra point.
Is it the equivalent of having a 0 and a 0-0, or it's worse? You know, obviously on a roulette table.
they had 0-0
No,
at
it
the
would
table
be
as well.
it would be worse.
Yeah, okay.
I'd say probably slightly worse,
would be
but they did
worse.
have 0-0 at the
Yeah, 'cause
table as
I
well.
know roulette odds and stuff.
Because
but
22,
Blackjack,
like
no.
22, I don't know all the combinations of cards that makes 22, but
Yeah.
if any of those combinations roll up for the dealer, it's just a draw.
Yeah.
Wash.
Instead
Or
of
what do they
being-
call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like push.
Push.
Yeah, we actually
Yeah,
played
right.
roulette after I lost that for like the first hand. I only took out 50 and then lost that $30 hand. I was like, fuck this. And I just went on roulette, threw 20 on it. Threw all of it on it because I got my money back. So don't know how I forgot that. But I didn't see it. Don't know how I didn't see it. But the table was like really, really low. And then as I saw it come around the ball in there, it was on 0-0. And I was like,
They got an extra one.
what the fuck is 0-0?
They've got two.
Why have they got that?
Yeah, they got 2. They have 0.
I don't know.
and
Yeah,
0.
I know.
I haven't been for like 5 years, but I used to always only play, like I went like 10 times when I was 18 to 25. I only played on 0 tables, but like even then you still got the edge against you. So it's a hard one.
When I play blackjack, I have to go at a table where, well, now I have to make sure it's not 22 as a push, and the blackjack odds have to be 3-2.
Yeah.
They have to be 3-2, and obviously dealer sends on 17. That should be fixed. I don't know what else they've got cooking these days. Like that just caught me off guard for some reason. But yeah, like you have
What
to.
did he hit?
that
Did
gives
he
you the best
hit on
odds of winning.
17 and then get 22?
No, like I can't remember what he did, but I remember thinking he like had I think he had like a soft 15, and then he did what? And no, he had a soft 14, and then he got a 2, so he was on 16. I'm like, this can't go on. Gets a 6, and I'm like, yes, and he's not doing anything. Like the dealer's not giving me my money, and I was like, mate, you're gonna give me the fucking whatever chips, and he just goes. Points to the side twice, and I read it in this microscopic writing. 22's push, and I'm like, I look around to the others at the table. I'm like, is this fucking real? And they're all like looking at me like I'm so stupid. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, fuck this, I'm gone, and just grab my shit and throw it on roulette, and then lost it all. So that was a good 3 minutes of casino. Really happy I went there. Oh, and then obviously
We don't encourage roulette
Dude,
here
yeah,
at the system.
Yeah, don't play
go
any
to the
games
cast.
that have
Never
the
go to the
edge
cast.
against you.
Yeah, the cast. Fucking hell.
yeah,
I don't know if JP,
What's your?
you've got a
You're in the summer
few
sports
questions
service,
here?
yeah?
yeah.
How's that going?
Oh, I love it. Honestly, we're not going too well at the moment, are we? But like we're
No,
still.
I think
We're still
yeah.
up, but like we're not going significantly
just-
well.
I think
it's
but
like
it's still
100
so
where
much
the
better.
What
various
are we?
play
4
out.
weeks.
Yeah.
I think we're like $150 profit a week or just
Yeah.
under.
Yeah, that's fine. Like in 20 weeks, we should hit the target.
Yeah.
if all goes well.
I'm not concerned whatsoever. But like, yeah,
Nah, old mate texts me and gets pissed off at the comments in the Discord. He goes, "Fucking, I don't even know why you reply to him."
yeah, and he rinses TikTok people as well,
Yeah,
which I want to get there.
TikTok.
So, you go to bed some nights and you read through the comments. What happens?
every night before I go to bed, I'm pretty sure every kid my age fucking hops on TikTok for like an hour, and every time I see like you're always on my For You page, obviously, because I follow all your accounts. So I just see like I'm not gonna name drop anybody, but
No,
there's
name
always
it.
one or
Name
he
it.
changed his name.
Yeah,
He did.
What's his name?
I can't. It's something Keith Miller. He's a fucking. I DM'd him as well. I fucking DM'd him, and he just fucking was giving me a spiel of shit.
We love to know who's behind these things, like Steve Keith Miller.
I pray because he switches up.
And Dave Miller Keith or whatever.
Yes, that was the other one.
That's he changed his name. Yeah, there's a guy called
Booker.
No, that guy unfortunately.
The guy with Charlie.
He doesn't
Charlie
believe
Curnow.
match betting's real, Mark Booker.
The guy with Charlie Curnow.
The Eddie Todd.
Yeah, Eddie.
I think it's the same person because he tags them all, and then Nigel's part of the same thing.
Like it could honestly be one or two blokes.
It will be one
running
person.
Like
I reckon one.
Counts.
But I don't get it. Like it's so. I understand that people might not agree with what you guys do, and they might not want to do it, but.
Which is
it's
fine.
not, which is 100% fine. But
couldn't give a shit.
Just when you say the same fucking comment on every post and it just doesn't really make sense because it has actually been answered. And they're like, oh, fuck, that video's too long. Oh, fuck, this is just waffle. I'm like,
keeps me off.
Well, I'm like, mate.
Nah, he's a full-on he's a troll. But
definitely
he knows it works, I think. And he watches it. And he actually references things we say in the video. So he watches the videos. But then
what else does he do? Like, he doesn't do anything else.
Well, who knows? But like, there's people in there that genuinely there's
the baffling part for me is like you are spending your own spare time, like your life, you're spending that trying to troll people.
Oh, I don't get it.
Like it's just such a sad existence.
Negative EV comment to every
I've seen that one, comment.
And I reckon it'll catch on if we start exposing bro, exactly what you said. They're playing a negative EV game. They're
like you're literally just wasting your time
to get zero out of it. And it's like, well,
literally
if you want to
zero.
do that, keep doing it. I mean, it doesn't harm us.
And if you're getting something out of the thought of upsetting someone, bro.
I remember when
up.
I first sort of heard about you guys, I was like, fuck, these cunts are actually smart. So what I feel like this is what I felt like you were doing.
Yeah.
I felt like you were trying to trigger 100 people, and then 5 or 6 people be like, oh yeah, these guys, I'm going to give them a go.
So
that's what we do.
Business model.
That's exactly what we do.
Right. So,
but we're not deliberately trying to trigger.
We don't like this is going to trigger. We just know that if you fuel the right conversations or respond to the right comments or make videos to the right comments, they'll comment again and their mate will comment, they'll like it, and that's just free engagement. And then you'll get the smart people in the DMs who just
come across like yourself.
I bet you'll have also people that used to comment stuff. I bet you that you'll definitely have people.
System.
Yep, 100%. Because they'll come around to it and they'll realize in the end.
At the end of the day, the ones I can't quite understand is the people who genuinely they comment for 6 months and they still think it's bullshit, it's a scam, which is what Steve was saying the other day. He's like, we want to change the messaging to be like this fucking works. We didn't make it up. It works. It's just numbers. Yeah. And I think potentially we don't show enough people. I don't know if it's the way we do it, but we maybe talk too smart, or we talk too advanced for the basic person. I don't know what it is, but we need to start showing more people how it actually works and you can actually make money, and you will make money doing it.
I think through if we continue to keep vlogging us actually betting and more speaking through what we're doing, how much we've had on it, why when we get a bonus bet back, that we're not actually losing all the money that we just bet on that horse. I think that'll come.
I think I've actually watched every vlog, even for someone like myself who is a system subscriber and in the Platinum Squad, those vlogs are the best. Yeah. They're just a good kind of insight to what you guys do and what goes on. And when you post clips and shit and people go, oh, this is showing emotion. Mate, it's not the fucking same. You're taking it out of context. There's emotion when you're obviously at a low and you're like, oh shit, I have to do this and that. You're allowed to be happy when your horse wins. You can't what do you want him to do? Just sit there like this? Oh, sweet.
Yeah, there's more emotion. There's more emotion impacting people's decision making, like in the story you told, where when you went and had $800 on Anamoe or whatever.
That's it. Decision making.
That is full on emotional betting. Yep. But if someone looked at you from the outside, they would have no fucking idea that you were doing it.
No.
So that's what, when we speak about emotions, that is emotions getting the better of you
just
and impacting your judgment.
Acting on. Showing emotion is what we do, riding the shit out of every horse. Literally we do that and we've done that since day one.
Mate, there's 530 people betting on the same horse as us. We want it to win.
But our betting actions or our tipping is literally the different thing, and people struggle to get that. I need to make a proper video on it, breaking down.
Some people just won't. I feel like they just can't comprehend the difference between emotion
No, but
that
it is
impacts
hard.
decision making or
It definitely is
emotion
hard, but
reacting.
but a lot of those comments as well are also just from trolls.
Of course, they just hate us and they just write shit comments. Like it's like, yeah, whatever. But
yeah.
anyway.
I get it.
I know we reached out to me like 3 months ago and you sent me a voice. You're like, it was similar to the converse we had before. You said, oh, how do I convince my mates like that they should be doing this and they shouldn't be doing like the degen way? Has that improved?
No, I didn't need to in the end.
They worked it out?
Like they're working out.
Or you
slowly.
just don't care?
I reckon like got to a point where I just didn't care.
Yeah.
But
better way to be. Like,
yeah.
You can't force
Don't
anyone
get
to
it
do it.
emotional.
They're going
invested
to work
in
it out.
that.
They've worked it out anyway. Like some of them have said I might join it. And I'm like, yeah, do it 100%. Like it does take a bit of work and a bit of effort on a Saturday, but we do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be really that new. Just download more bookies and make sure you maintain sustainability. Stick to turning the bonuses over. And then,
That's the key. Doing it anyway is what
Yeah, I was going to
people-
ask, is that what your Saturday used to look like anyway? Like
Yeah.
before following the system, would you
Yep.
be with your mates and just watch, all 20 races through Metro, Melbourne, Sydney, and then whatever else is on Sky or whatever?
Yeah, like I remember last spring, like me and my ex-girlfriend's brother would literally just sit down for like hours on a Friday night, do form, what are we going to bet, how much on this horse, how much on this horse, and looking back on it, super fun. But I remember some of those spreadsheets that I made, they were like $25 on this horse and then $200 on this horse. No, you can't do that. Like,
Well, that's the thing. It's just staking. Like consistent staking is the best form of stopping your losing that you can get, I think. Just keeping it the same as long as it's
Or
fair
even
share.
if like the way Steve kind of explained it is like if you're going to bet $200 on a Saturday, bet all your bets on a Friday night,
Don't
or
change
do
it.
them all at 9 a.m. Saturday, and then don't bet again.
yeah, I feel like some people might not do that because odds vary.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, but this is like
But
more
I'm
advanced
talking about
punters.
like we're talking about punters that are going to bet 200. Like they don't know what EV is. They're just going to bet their $200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to bet $10 a race at every race, Melbourne and Sydney. Like,
The
just
other thing,
bet them in the morning.
you spend all that time doing all that form and stuff, like, and all the spreadsheets, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. But is it like deflating when then you don't make a profit? You're spending like 15 hours in a week doing that, or you still enjoy that part of it? Because there'd be people that would literally spend 20, 30 hours a week watching races who aren't pros, and then they're just going, like, they might be good at what they're doing, but then they just do what you did and they just make like 2 units and then they just blow it all on the last race.
Me personally, I enjoy it. Like
So you're a horse racing, like, nerd
I love
almost.
it. Like I really do. Like most big races, like I know the field, I know these horses. Like just I can watch a race without betting on it, and then like yesterday I did have money on the cup. I wasn't on without a fight. Like, and I was fucking kicking it home.
Yeah.
Like it was just so amazing. Like just seeing Zara, how like happy he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. He was
Stick it up,
loving it.
everyone.
Two of the cat.
He was like,
No,
he was
I love,
unreal.
bro. I love watching horse
Yeah,
racing.
you're like
Yeah.
Tom. I'm not
Like, I
like that.
full
Me
on
and
love
Steve
it.
are not like
No, I
that.
can
But
watch
Tom
it,
loves
like-
horses.
Friday night, like we won't even be tipping at the Valley. Like I'll be at home. Misso might be working night shift, and instead of like I wouldn't watch like the Cricket World Cup or whatever, I literally would just have the races on.
Yeah.
Like I just like watching
Fair.
them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I
See what they're doing.
I don't know
What
if
you
I could
can't
do
do
that.
that
If I don't
without
know
punting.
if I don't know the horses.
Yeah,
So if
fair.
I don't know
I just
who it
like
is,
the
I don't care.
commentary and the hype around the night, and I don't know. I just enjoy that. Like it's just easy TV for me to watch, and every race, like whether it's fucking a maiden or obviously Group 1s are a bit more intense, but like there's always like there's tactics or where's this horse going to log, or how's the ride, or what's the pay. I just enjoy watching that. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to explain, but you
I feel like it's more of a for me personally, it's more of a group. If I know the horses, which I don't know if I don't know all the Friday night Valley ones, but I know some of them to the back end. And Friday night racing, like used to be that good, like back in autumn. Like I remember when Imperatrice won her first race in autumn, like all the boys, like who don't give a shit about racing, were all like, obviously they were happy because they were on it, but they were all loving every race.
Yeah.
Like even before that, it was just everyone was hammered and everyone was loving the Friday night races. And
I reckon they've done a good. I think they've done a good job this year at. This has nothing to do with the system, but like just racing in general. I think they've done a good job at like building up the vibe and like getting people back involved. Because there are people that I know that know fuck all about racing or don't even bet, and they're like, "Are we going to this race day? Should we go to this?" Like I feel like they've done a good job of like rejuvenating it here in Victoria, getting people to go back to it. I don't know what it's like. New South Wales racing is obviously like booming.
100%.
Peter Volandy stuff, like the Everest and the Golden Mile, like Golden Eagle. Sorry, it's just like, it's booming there. But I feel like they've just done a good job of making it kind of more fun, more appealing, a little bit more sexy product, I guess.
100%. Like I never thought I would have, like, this one girl once asked me, "Are you going to go to this race day?" Like 2 months before it even came out. I'm like, "How do you know what that is?" Like, you never give a shit about horse racing whatsoever. Like, why do you want to go? And she's like, "Oh, it sounds like really fun and stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck, absolutely, I'm going. Like, come with us and stuff."
Yeah.
And now these days you can get a whole bunch of boys and a whole bunch of girls who all love it. Like, have a great time.
It is a good day.
Yeah, it is a really good day. Like, especially like if you don't blow all your money like I've done a few times and fucking had to go home early. So like if you just maintain that, like exactly, if you just stick to it, you're gonna have a great day. And you can do that every time. Like even when we've had remember there was a day a few months ago where we went like -13 and then the day we went -16. Then that was, and then that week, 16? That grand final weekend.
We went, but the worst day was
21.
The worst
day,
21
weekend.
The worst day was after the grand final, and then the worst day was after Collingwood Carlton.
I think second worst, but yeah, it's -13.
Was that the second worst? What's the worst?
-15.
Fuck, that's a stinker.
July 2021.
Yeah, nice.
I was playing footy.
So the best part about that grand final day,
we should just talk about how shit the system is. Or
yeah, 100%. I wasn't even there.
Talk about the worst days.
I was hammered.
100%.
JB's tripling down. I reckon we went -30 one day.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. But
yeah,
how'd you go on those days?
I wasn't there. I was.
You didn't follow on either of those bad days.
Bugger all internet.
Steve actually said that. Steve was like, after the grand final, like Friday night, and then the grand final tipping day, like worst week ever.
Yeah.
Steve's like, I know it sucks, and like it's the pits, but like he's like, I reckon 40% of subscribers wouldn't have followed. They would have all been getting pissed like grand final day. They wouldn't have done it properly. They would have had something on the Friday night. He's like, if there was ever a week to have the worst week ever, like those 2 tipping days, he's like probably like a shit ton of the subs would have missed it. So it's funny that you say that you're like, oh, fucking wasn't on it. That's what Steve was saying.
Yeah, but for anyone listening, since those days, we've gone like plus 100 and plus 60. So it's like
October was
like
insane.
Since July. Like
Oh, I wasn't like, we're not sitting here stressing, but it's just funny that you said exactly what Steve said. He'll like listening to that.
Yeah.
And then obviously, so how did you go? October was our most profitable month ever on the system. Did you manage to follow for most or all of that?
Yeah, patches.
Yeah.
Most of it. As much as I can. I've been like, if we go out on a Friday night, like I've been, like there's times where I
You had a few beers last night as well. Should we tell the viewers that? Big day?
Yeah, we had a big few days. I don't really know.
When are you going back home?
Tonight,
yeah. Okay.
Which is needed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Safer at home.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. What the biggest thing that I've noticed out in Melbourne, like if you go somewhere, the security guard will not try to fight you. Will
fight you?
Like not fight you, but like will not like
not arc you.
Just not go on a mad power trip. Like if you go out in Sydney anywhere, it's like, you're a bloke. Not tonight, boys. We're full. Then you turn around and 10 chicks just walk straight in and you're like, okay.
I reckon 80% of blokes should have got turned away. So I'm with the bouncer. Well, I mean, I think from my perspective, I've got a lot out of this podcast.
What's his goals?
But I was going to kind of like wrap it up in terms of like asking you said that you don't have a target, but if you sat in here the day after Melbourne Cup Day next year, hopefully a little bit less hungover, and what would a successful year look like for you? Maybe it's not a profit figure, but maybe it's like 4 of my mates are doing it and we all do it on a Saturday. Or maybe it's, I can convert bonuses at 80% at the drop of a hat, or I make 20 grand. Like, what is it?
Exactly.
It has to be
what
something.
I was going to say. I would like 2 mates next to me here that the 2 have spoken to me about it. I'd like them to be at around a 6-month stage at that point. I would like to be at $50 units consistently at that point. Just still with the sports system as well. Going to do it in winter as well. And hopefully just keep doing what's going on. Like people look at it and say, oh, maybe that's too expensive. It's too expensive. But when you look at it long term, that number is nothing. Like even if you sign up for 6 months, like $260, I think, like $260 profit to make your money back in 6 months.
I think that's 3 months. Yeah. Usually on a 6 month, we can sling on 2 months. I think it's $450 for 6.
All right. So
but you get 2 months for free usually, so it ends up being like $54 a month or something.
Yeah, but you're gonna make $260 even that sum in 1 month, like maximum.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's even like you're right. Of course you're going to make it, but it's more so like if you change because you realizing, and maybe you don't even know this, but you now being able to speak about those bets that you place and understanding that you felt sick and that they ruined your day and that you end up down here when they lose and then not betting them again.
Yep.
You've made yourself a lot of money from not betting that way. And you probably don't know that or don't think about it like that. And a lot of people don't. But just simply from doing that, yes, you've made almost $4,000 from following the system in 3.5 months of doing it properly. But you've probably also saved yourself, maybe one or two $800 to $1,000 bets that could have potentially lost.
Say more.
So that in itself, say if you had three $1,000 bets and they all lost, you've saved yourself another $3,000. That's actually in your pocket that you could have spent on beers last night or on the blackjack table or on the roulette table. But the point is, you don't think about that, but that's massive for almost every single punter.
There are days where I look at the results of racing and I say, holy shit, like, I know the bookies would have fucking cleaned up. I reckon like yesterday,
the last few days,
Like
yesterday,
and
Derby Day, Derby
100%.
Day, Cup Day, they would have absolutely
bloodbath.
cleaned
I'm
up.
trying to remember Derby Day, that was pretty bad.
One favourite one at Flemington, I
For
think.
the whole day.
Riff Rocket,
210.
and he
The spoils.
didn't actually, I feel like a pilly, like the one that comes second, so deserved to win that.
Yeah, we tipped.
It's just J-Mac just gave it a little bit of a better ride.
A tissue?
A pull-out.
No, it was a
Puglia, sorry.
Puglia. But like there was a day a few months ago, like when I actually look back at that weekend, that grand final weekend, and that Saturday races, I was like, if I was like, because I was supposed to actually go out for my mate's birthday to the races.
Yeah.
If I was there and if I wasn't with the system and I was just doing what I was usually doing, I probably would have lost $1,000.
Yeah, man.
I genuinely believe I would have.
Well, that's 50. How many units is that? 40 units.
25 by 20.
40 units.
Yeah, 40 units.
We went negative
23
13,
for the whole weekend.
Well, 13 for the day.
21, sorry, for the whole weekend. Yeah. Oh, no, I just wanted to say, like, what you've done is elite. Sharing what you've shared is massive. I think it's going to help a lot of people, especially maybe people that have never seen our stuff. It'll help, but definitely new subscribers. I think your story and the way that you've kind of worked your way through it and you've had a bit of, you've had some ups and downs and you've done things that heaps of recreational and mug punters have done. Fucking JP lost $1,000 in one bet one time and he spoke about that when he was 18 or something or 19. Twice, sorry.
When I was 18.
So like the fact that you can talk about it is elite because I don't think you're going to do it again. And even if you do it again, which I hope you don't, I know that you'll know that you're an idiot for doing it as opposed to like when you used to do it, it was like, I'm a hero, feel like a thrill. You think about it the complete opposite, but I don't reckon you're going to do it again unless you have
It's self-awareness.
Else.
Like you would, as Tom said, you might not know, but you know now, you think more about your decision to make the bet. It's like, what's the consequence of this? Rather than, oh yeah, cool, if it wins, I'm going to fucking be a hero. Now you're actually critically thinking, be like, oh, what if it loses? I'm going to lose this. I put in all this effort. $1,000 bet for you is 25% of your profit so far in 5 months. Like you're just going to throw that down the sink. Like
fucking insane.
Like that's how you should look at it. Like zoom out, look at the bigger picture. I know you're fine, but anyone else doing it, thinking it like that, just think about it.
I'm just going to like quickly add this one in. Like I remember I was like 14. I was like mega into the NBA my whole life.
Yeah.
So my cousin who was 18 at the time, like we put a multi up. We picked every game of the day, put $5 on it. The payout was like, I think it was like 17K.
Just head to head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really understand odds. So he kind of just said, who's winning this game? I was like, them. And we ended up losing by one leg in like I remember, this is when LeBron was with the Cavs.
Yeah.
And they blew like a 17-point lead in the fourth. And we ended up losing by a leg. And I kind of sat there and looked at that like, if that's how easy it is to like get close to winning that much, I can't wait till I can get my hands on
That's
this.
the thing.
That's how everyone thinks when they miss by one leg.
Yeah. And to loop back now and like look at my journey, and then that's kind of the point where I was like, okay, this is how I can make shit tons of money. And all the times where I put like $50 on a 3-leg multi, paying $2 or a same game multi, and don't know, something's happened. Like Curry doesn't, like, probably shouldn't use Curry as an example because he kind of plays weird every game. But like say LeBron gets hurt or KD gets hurt or somebody just bricks the fuck for one night. Like you can, that $50 where you lose by one leg, that piles up over 6 months.
Oh yeah.
And the statements are fucked, especially if you're not turning your bonus over. And that's what I'd say. Probably 5 of 30 I'd say, out of people that I know would do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'd say just looking back on all that, it's a fucked up journey, but I'm fucking happy to be here now.
Yeah, nice. No, very
That's
good
good.
work to get to where you are, and I'm sure you
100%.
want to keep improving. So, and
100%.
I think the key is inspiring more people and your mates to do it is the key, which is essentially why we do it. Like, we could be sitting there making heaps of money just betting ourselves, but it's just not the same as helping other people. So,
Yeah, no, I've really, really enjoyed this. Appreciate you coming on. Sorry about the hangover. Fingers
Sweet,
crossed
I'm
the flight
sweet.
home's all right, and we'll get you here in a year's time with two of your mates, 15K in your pocket, Betfair whiz, and then we'll go again.
That's the goal. That's the end goal.
Beauty. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
See you, Randy.
Let's go.
all right, well done on getting to the end of the podcast. Obviously, Randy Marsh, bit of a different character, a bit more relatable. If you want to get involved with what we do here, there is a free course. That's your best place to start. Check the bio on the YouTube. And a reminder, if you are a current member and you're not yet part of the affiliate program, you can earn 30% ongoing revenue to anyone that you refer, also linked in the description. See you in the community.